Hey everyone, welcome to Mr. U's Reviews. Today I'm reviewing the new film Godzilla vs. Kong. This film, of course, follows the clashing between two very famous cinematic monsters, Godzilla and Kong, as well as the people involved with this event. Right off the bat, I want to talk about the directing by Adam Wingard, because directing a film like this can be a very daunting task. Having your two title characters be entirely computer generated CGI. But Wingard did a nice job portraying the grand scope of these two giants, especially when you watch the film, you can, in the same shot, you might see like a human battleship or something, but they look so tiny compared to how big Godzilla and King Kong are. So that was really cool to see. And the film's directing shines with the action scenes. And as an audience member, you come to expect Godzilla vs. Kong, just like the title. And boy, do they deliver. These fight scenes and action scenes were just awesome to watch, very enjoyable. And that has a lot to do with Wingard's directing, so he did a nice job here. In addition, the visual effects and CGI were both quite good. Of course, these characters, they're not real creatures. They're all computer generated, but they really do come to life on screen, and they don't feel like these mindless monsters. They feel like real beings with emotion and thoughts and everything. And of course, yes, I'm kind of looking deep into that, but you should in present day when we have all this technology. And it was really well utilized in this film through the facial expressions of both Godzilla and Kong and their movements. It did look quite good in my opinion. And sometimes the visual effects just adds to the visual look of the film. It can be eye candy to look at times, as maybe Godzilla does his fire breath or whatever, and the colors just pop on screen, especially towards the second half. So that just adds to, you could say, the cinematography of the film and just the visual look of it. So I thought those were two aspects that really added to the film. Yet there are still things that could have been improved. A common critique of monster films, especially like with lots of action scenes where you want to see just these characters fight, is with the human characters and how they don't really add too much to the story, or when the film kind of focuses on them a little bit, you just want it to move on. And though I do think this film improves on that critique, there are multiple characters that do have an integral part in this film. There were still lots of groups of characters here that just felt like they were trying to connect to previous films instead of really adding anything to this film. As I say again, that isn't to say all human characters in this film are like that, but it was still something I noticed. And maybe in the end, certain characters do get maybe something little to do. I wish every character really had something big to either help Godzilla or help King Kong, maybe create conflict between each other even more. So that's just something that could have been improved. Also, very similar to how I felt about the characters, the story here could have been improved as well. The film starts out, with the focus of getting Godzilla versus King Kong, getting them to fight. But then the movie switches gears to something else, and then by the end it switches back to Godzilla versus Kong. But when it switched gears, although sure it led to something important, it didn't really warrant as much time on that certain kind of subplot. It didn't really warrant that much time. It could have got back to the main conflict of the film between these two characters, but instead it did focus a lot on a certain aspect of the story before going back to the main event we've been wanting to see throughout the film. So that was also something that could have been fixed a little bit. Just maybe shorten that kind of subplot a little bit, just to get back to the main story that we're all excited about. Overall, Godzilla vs. Kong was a fun film. The directing was well done, especially of the action scenes and really portraying the grand scope of these two characters. And what adds to that are the visual effects and CGI. They really help the film visually, and they bring these two main characters to life on screen. Yet, there were certain aspects of the film that could have been improved. Certain characters could have been given something more to do, something more substantial, to really have an impact on the film. And also with the story, it didn't need to focus on a certain aspect for as long of a time as it did. It could have just went back to the main event of the film, Godzilla vs. Kong, seeing them fight, instead of just focusing on a little subplot for a long part of the film. But all in all, it was an enjoyable film, and it delivers what the audiences want. So I give Godzilla vs. Kong a B-. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget your popcorn. Until next time, from Mr. U to you, stay tuned.